Hello guys, it's Christian here, back for another video. My Stanley Cup playoffs preview. Let's go, Preds. I had to say that first off. Just get it out of the way. PK Subban is the man. Y'all know what it is. We're beating the Avs. Anyway, 2-0 series lead right now, so I'm a happy person. Okay, I feel better now. Okay, so NHL playoffs, or Stanley Cup playoffs, are finally here. It's one of my favorite things in sports. Hockey is probably my second favorite sport to follow, just to keep up with and watch. So yeah, I'm very excited. That they're here now is what I'm trying to say. Okay, first off, let's just go ahead and start with the boys. Nashville, Colorado. I have the Preds in 5 winning this series. I'm just going to do roster. PK Subban, Pekka Rinne, Roman Josi, Mike Fisher. Welcome back. Colton Sissons, Kevin Fiala. Do you need me to keep going? Kyle Turris. You need me to keep on going? Okay, Colton Sissons. We're stacked. We are the best team in the NHL, top to bottom, and the President's Trophy proved that, in my opinion. Okay, Winnipeg, Minnesota. This, I feel like, is a very good series. And I feel like the Central is one of the best divisions in hockey, just because of how many good teams there are in it. And, yeah, I have Winnipeg winning this. Just get rid of the distractions. I have Winnipeg winning this series in 6, 7, I don't know. One of those two, I have Winnipeg winning this series. So then we got Vegas and LA. This pick right now is not looking too good for me, considering Vegas has a 3-0 lead. I have LA in 6, and that pick is not looking too good for me right now. And that can't happen. LA can still win, but they can't win in 6. They're gonna have to win in 7. Yeah, and considering, never mind. You'll see it later. Anaheim and San Jose. I have. Honestly, I didn't really know who to pick in this series, because I feel like this series could easily go either way. I mean, Anaheim's still Anaheim. You know, Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf. They still got Gibson as their goalie. San Jose is still San Jose. Get Brent Burns, Joe Pavelski, all those dudes. But I went ahead and took Anaheim in 7, considering they have home ice. Okay, here's where everyone's going to think I'm crazy. I am especially when it comes to hockey, I am the hugest, and playoff hockey particularly, I am the hugest stereotypes. I am the hugest superstitious person when it comes to playoff hockey. If I was drinking out of one cup the night we won one game, I drink out of the same cup the next night. It's just the next game. That's just how superstitious I am. Not necessarily with the shirts, because I wore my Pekka jersey Saturday. But anyway. So, last year, no one expected us to win. This year, everyone's expecting us to win. So here's what I did. I reversed the script, because last year, when no one expected us to win, we won. We swept the first. I didn't even pick us to get out of this first round last year. I picked Chicago to beat us in the first round. So I went ahead and picked us to win in the first round, but I got the Jets beating us in 7 in the second round. Yep, I said it. It's not what I want to happen, obviously, but I feel like it could happen. It's just how the playoffs are. I mean, the playoffs, honestly, they're just straight luck. I mean, you saw it last year. We got to the Stanley Cup final as a 8 seed. So we were the last team in the playoffs of the whole NHL, and we got to the Stanley Cup final. But there is some skill involved in the playoffs, but it's hardly any. I feel like the playoffs are more luck than anything, almost. But that's why I have Winnipeg in the Western Conference final against the LA Kings, which is not looking good at all right now. I had the Kings going to the conference final after beating Anaheim, so that's not looking too good at all right now. But my Western Conference final is Winnipeg and LA, and I have Winnipeg going to their first Stanley Cup final this year. So, yeah, I have Winnipeg going to their first Stanley Cup final. Um, I mean, they're just on fire right now. Um, us in Winnipeg were battling for the Central all year, and I mean, we did dominate the season series. I think they only beat us once, if I remember correctly. I don't remember, but yeah, I just think Winnipeg's the team to beat right now. Besides us, obviously, because I don't want to pick us. Okay, on to the East. So we got Tampa and New Jersey in the first round. I got Tampa in 5. I think New Jersey will win. I think New Jersey and Tampa are going to split these next two games 3 and 4, and then I think Tampa Bay is going to win the series in game 5. They were competing with us for the President's Cup all year. So yeah, I think Tampa Bay is a good team this year. Boston. This was a terrible draw for Boston in the first round, getting Toronto and Austin Matthews. I felt bad for them, but they've proved it to not be that big of a deal right now. Going up 2-0, they've won both games by like 4 goals, I think. But I have Boston in 7 in this series, and I have Tampa Bay and Boston in the division final. Okay. Washington, Columbus. Another thing that's not looking too good for me right now. I had Washington in 6. Columbus is up 2-0. So, Washington's going to have to win 4 in a row for that to happen. But they could still win the series without just winning it in 6. They could still win it just in like 7. But anyway, I have Washington in that series. I mean, my thing is, Washington always chokes, but they don't hardly ever choke in the first round. And it's Alex Ovechkin. He's one of the best players on earth, so I went with the Capitals there. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Hate the Penguins. Screw Sidney Crosby. I hate the Penguins. Don't get me wrong. But they're beating the Flyers. I'm really cheering for the Flyers to win this series. And Pittsburgh, I have Pittsburgh in 7. And I think this has been a good series so far, and I think it will continue to be a good series. Vegas, LA, I forgot to mention, I think will be one of the biggest rivalries in the NHL in about 5 years. You heard it here first. Pittsburgh, Philly, yeah, I mean, Sidney Crosby's one of the best players on earth. As much as I hate him, it's just the facts. He's one of the best at it that does it. So, all right, Tampa Bay and Boston. I went back and forth so much on this because Tampa Bay and Boston were right there in the Atlantic the whole year. They're just right next to each other the whole year in the Atlantic. But I went ahead and went with Tampa Bay to beat Boston because they have home ice. And Steven Stamkos, I think, is going to be the difference in that series. I mean, he's one of the best players in the game. He's definitely the franchise player for the Lightning. So I have the Lightning going on to the East Final. Washington, Pittsburgh, I said it earlier. Washington always chokes in the second round. That's just always what happens. Or the first. They might choke in the first round this year. So I got Pittsburgh beating Washington in 6 to move on to the East Final. And then in my East Final, I have Pittsburgh and Tampa. I have Pittsburgh in 6 beating Tampa Bay in the East Final. I think Sidney Crosby's proved these last 2 years they're no joke in the playoffs. That he's just that's just my opinion again, but I just feel like Sidney Crosby's just poised for another cup run. So my Stanley Cup final is Winnipeg and Pittsburgh, 2-2 seeds, and I have the Pittsburgh Penguins, unfortunately, winning a 3rd straight Stanley Cup in 6 games again, unfortunately. It's Sidney Crosby. He's the best player in the world, and I'm also trying to jinx them. So that happens. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like if you liked it, obviously. Subscribe, please. And yeah, so I'll see y'all in the next video. Go Preds. Beat the Avs tonight. And I will see y'all. I'll have a Stanley Cup final preview also. See ya.